Looks like we have a great turnout this morning. Thank you all for your responses. So let's get started. My name is Lokia, and I am an application specialist here in the Client Services Department at Relativity. I will be your facilitator for the next hour or so. So just a few reminders. RCE credits are only offered when participating in the live broadcast of this webinar, and they could take up to a week to be added. To register for any of our live webinars, please visit www.relativity.com/ediscovery-training. All right, so this webinar is going to focus on configuring and troubleshooting the transcript application. We'll also discuss the most commonly received errors within the application and provide some troubleshooting tips to help resolve those errors. After that, I'll address any questions that you may have. All right, let's begin by discussing how to install the Transcripts application. First, what we'll do is head over to our documentation site and check out the Transcripts compatibility matrix. The compatibility matrix will let us know which version of the application is compatible with our version of Relativity. So say that we're on Relativity version 10.1.290.1. When we check the compatibility matrix, we see that version 10.1.4.13 of the Transcripts application is compatible with our version of Relativity. For more information, please see our documentation site listed below. All right, once we know the correct version of the Transcripts application that we need, we'll head over to the community portal and download the Transcripts application. The Transcripts application and other applications can be located by clicking on the Files tab and selecting the Relativity Applications folder. Once you've downloaded the Transcripts application from the community, it may be installed into all workspaces or just a single workspace. Once the application is properly installed, we'll see a new transcript button below the new document button, or a new transcript icon to the right of the new document icon in the workspace. Now, the icon typically displays when you're using a smaller screen. Relativity now gives you the option to personalize the Transcripts application to best fit your workflow. Transcripts, like other applications in Relativity, require permissions. So here are a list of the permissions associated with the Transcripts application that you may apply to the groups in your environment. Okay, and now we'll discuss how to update the Transcripts layout. Originally, the transcript layout contained a long list of fields which did not necessarily need to be populated. This was time-consuming as some of the users felt that populating all the fields on the layout was mandatory. We're now able to remove those fields and customize the layout according to what's necessary for our review as such. All right, let's switch over to a demo on customizing that Transcripts layout. Okay, so here we have our workspace, and this is the original layout as we saw previously. It'll just be a moment. It's still on vacation. There we go. So we see that we have a long list of fields that we may or may not need for our review. So what we're going to do is navigate over to our layouts. We're going to scroll down until we see the transcript import layout. And what we're going to do here is select Build Layout. Okay, well, our layout is not here anymore. Sorry about that. But if we wanted to add or remove fields from our layout, we would simply We'll simply go to our categories, add a new category, and drag and drop our fields here. Okay. All right. So we're going to head back over to our transcripts workspace. Since we're already here, we're going to add a new transcript. Okay. Notice we added the deponent name to our, when we uploaded the transcript, it added the deponent name automatically, and it added the exhibits. Once our transcript is imported, we'll see a folder that's created with our deponent name as well as our exhibits. So here's our transcripts folder. We see our transcript was created with the Christopher C. Van folder name and then our exhibits. All right, guys, thanks for bearing with me. All right, so next we'll talk about troubleshooting the transcripts application. Troubleshooting the transcripts application can be a bit tricky, as we know the errors typically do not display in the errors tab. Here is one of our most common errors. The file you uploaded is in an unsupported format. This error is pretty much self-explanatory. It's letting us know that there's an issue with the file itself. If you receive this message while uploading a transcript, please refer to our documentation entitled Supported File Types for the Transcripts application, and make sure that your transcript type and formatting is compatible with relativity. Now, the most common transcript error that we see on the front end is an unexpected error has occurred. Please contact your system admin. Now, I know a lot of you call in asking, what does this error mean? Transcripts errors are stored in SQL instead of the Errors tab. The best way to figure out what is causing an issue with the transcripts upload is by checking the relativity logs in the EDDS logging database. So let's head over to SQL and find out how to locate our transcripts errors. All right, so what we will do is log into SQL or SSMS, our primary SQL server. We'll expand our databases, and we'll scroll down to the database called EDDS logging. We'll expand EDDS logging and expand our tables, and we'll search for relativity logs. Once we get to relativity logs, we'll right-click, and we'll select the top 1,000 rows. The relativity logs may take a while to open because it houses all of the errors for the environment. Okay, once we get into the relativity logs, we want to add a where clause so that we can pull back the transcripts only. So we'll do where name like and we'll type transcripts. I'm sorry, guys, I got that backwards. Let's start over. And then we'll order by timestamp descending. And we'll change the name to message. All right, once we run that command, we should pull back all errors that we received from the transcripts application. And once again, this may take a moment because it has to go through all the workspaces in the environment. One tip to learn is to make sure that you have the S at the end of the transcripts. If you don't add the S to the transcripts and you just type transcript, it'll pull back way more errors because some of the errors contain the word transcript in them when they're not actually transcript errors. There we go. Okay. So when we see the transcript, something unexpected has occurred error, we scroll over to the exception. The exception column usually gives us an idea of what the issue is with the transcript. So if you're having an issue with your transcript, provide this error to client services and we'll be able to assist you in resolving the issue. Okay, so I want to just provide a couple of the common errors that we receive in the transcript application. Oftentimes we get calls saying that they saw an error stating that the input length exceeds the maximum set length of 36 for the transcript bundle field. Now the transcript bundle field has a character limit of 36 by default. For this reason, your transcript's file name, including the extension, must be below or at 36 characters. And depending on the version of the transcripts application and relativity that you're using, this may no longer be an issue, but we still do get calls for this. You can check the transcript bundle field in your environment to know your limitations. Another error that we see often is error in row 1 field, file size. Specified cast is not valid. This error displays when the file size field is set as a whole number instead of a decimal field. To resolve this error, the file size field must be deleted and recreated as a decimal field. Another common error that we receive is a bad password exception error. This error typically displays with LEF files. It indicates that a transcript is password protected and Relativity does not support password-protected LEF files. The password will need to be removed before you import the transcript. Another error that we see is the method not found error. This error displays when the version of the transcripts application is not compatible with the version of Relativity. We oftentimes see this when Relativity is upgraded, but the transcript application stays at the previous version. So just make sure you're checking that compatibility matrix and making sure that you're using the correct version of the application. If you do receive this error message and you're on the incorrect version, please do not uninstall the transcript application because you will lose all files. All right, and once again, if you don't have access to SQL or SSMS, you can provide this query to your admin or to your SQL person, and they'll be able to provide the error to Relativity, and we'll be able to resolve the issue with you. All right, now here are some of the common issues that clients are facing when using the Transcripts application. We get calls saying that transcripts are not displaying in the viewer. The blue circle keeps spinning. This error typically has nothing to do with the Transcripts application. It's usually a conversion issue. If you see this error, check your conversion agents in the environment and troubleshoot accordingly. Another error that we get, an issue that we receive is, I'm a system admin and I'm unable to add or delete designations. The delete button is missing. So system administrators have the ability to globally disable certain actions in Relativity. Now this can be configured by editing the object rules within the application. If we edit the rule entitled Restrict Global, we see that it gives us the option to show or hide certain buttons for the transcript designation object, as well as all other objects within the transcript application. The same applies for mass actions. The restrict mass actions rule allows you to show or hide certain mass actions within the workspace. All right. I'm unable to figure out which user created or deleted a designation. To figure out which user added or edited a designation, you can check the History tab in Relativity. Since the history can be rather large, it may be best to create a view to pull back this information. And here, we need to filter on the transcript designation object type and the create and delete actions. And clicking on the details will provide more information about the designations, such as the name of the document that the designation was deleted from, the location of the designation within the document, and the designation type, etc. All right, that is the information that I have today on configuring and troubleshooting the transcript application. Are there any questions from anyone? Can video be linked to a transcript with the latest version? Yes, video can be linked to a transcript in version 10.1. Are there plans to move the errors out of SQL to the errors tab? We have been discussing that with the product management team to make it easier for you all so that you don't have to depend on SQL, or if you don't have access, depend on the person that has access to SQL. So that has been a request that we put in with our product manager. I see a message that says for the error on missing method, but I am not sure what that is. Carrie Ann, if you could send that again. I received a few errors when uploading PDF files. Are there different types of PDF files? If you're receiving errors when uploading PDF files, it'd probably be best to check the documentation and make sure that that file is formatted correctly. As PDF files are supported, then they should import with no problem. Is this query in the EDDS logs like transcript still working? Because most of the time the transcript name is going to be deponent first last name. Yes, this is the query that we use when we're searching for transcripts at all times. It should pull back any error within the transcripts application. The different types of transcript files that the application supports. I'm not sure if you saw the supported file types list that I posted, but we have the entire set of file types that are supported on our documentation site, supported file types for the transcripts application. Can you export a transcript and brand it with the transcript name? I've had issues with exporting and branding in 9.6. You know what, Nicholas? I will have to check on that. I have not seen a transcript being branded with the transcript name. So I will take that down and follow up with you. Is the video synchronized when loading for 10.1? For 10.1, well, with relativity right now, we don't have the option to sync video afterwards. If you want to sync the video with your transcript, the video must be imported at the same time as the transcript. If you all would like, I should have a transcript video that we can upload. If you'd like to see video. Let's and we'll give this one moment to upload. Okay, so we see here that when we have a transcript with video, it has the play button here. And like I said, we'll give that a moment to load. Is it possible to have a copy of the SQL queries you ran? Yes, I can send that over to you, James. We'll just give this video a little bit longer to load. Everything is moving a little slower on. Jonathan had a question where nation is off on certain transcripts. Yes, we have seen an issue where the page numbering is off on transcripts. We do have that set up as a defect currently, and we are working with the product management team to fix that. And I'm sorry, you all, this transcript is still loading. How is the video linked? The instructions are kind of vague. It just says they need to be loaded together. It's usually an XMEF file or an LEF file. So the video comes with the transcript at the same time. The video types are usually MP4. Chris, as far as a resolution on the defect, I will check with my product management team to see if they have an ETA on that. As far as I know, it was just last month that we were able to discover that defect. So we don't have an ETA right at this moment, but I'll see if it's slated for the next release or any releases further. Okay, we are going to try this one more time. Okay, so here's our transcript with video. If we come down here, we see the play button. All right, and we see that when the transcript skips to the next line, it may be off due to a delay. But as they're talking, you see how the transcript is going line per line. Rowena, we have been having issues updating already loaded transcripts when the videos don't come with the transcript already. So that is another issue that we've been working on our end, is how to get those transcript videos added afterwards and still have them syncing. We don't have a resolution for that right at this moment, but we are working on that. Can you use a PTZ file to import linked transcripts, exhibits, and videos? Unfortunately, Scott, we do not support PTZ files at this moment. Can we import annotations and designations from another application like Westlaw? I'm not sure about Westlaw Case Notebook. I'll have to check on that and follow up. And we can't export video clips right at this time, but we are working on being able to export and import video clips. Rowena, I am not sure about on cue. That's another question that I will follow up on with you. If duplicate exhibits exist, can this link to the original, or will the LEF import two of the same exhibits? Typically, it will just import two of the same exhibits. Jumbi, yes, I can send that video transcript file to you. Thank you all so much for attending. Thank you for sitting with me while we had our technical difficulties. If you have any questions, please reach out to training@relativity.com. And for those of you with questions, I will follow up with you once I receive the answers from our product management team. If you need anything else, please let me know.